Hey, what's going on, everybody? It is a little bit after three. It is a little bit after 3 o'clock p.m. So you guys know what that means. We are live for another edition of Book Talk Live. Today, I am joined by another best-selling Amazon best-selling #1 best-selling author, Miss Faith Boonstra, otherwise known as FC Boonstra. She is soon to be a literary giant in the steampunk and anime and exciting fantasy sci-fi field. And so I introduce to you all Miss Faith Boonstra. How you doing today, Faith?
Hello. I am doing pretty good. It's very bright where I am, as you can tell. Sun is still shining here in Jersey. Yeah, I'm actually an hour ahead, so it's 4 here. So, but still, it's all good. I'm having a good day.
There you go. Hey, and I like that background. You got the all purple in the background now, so that's a little bit different.
All the purple.
Yeah. So today, before we get started, the people see the smiles and they see Faith. Tell the people a little bit about who Faith is.
Yeah. Alrighty. Well, I love books. Been reading since I was very, very young. And my parents even said it's like probably what helped reading was like having closed captions on the TV all the time. Love music as well. I actually started drumming when I was 6, and I also play flute. I can do sax as well because the fingering is relatively the same. I actually did bari sax back in high school, which ironically for me wasn't too long ago. And yeah, I love Japan. I love Japanese culture. I've more recently got into anime, but actually starting out with Japanese, had no idea what anime was. I was like the one person in my first Japanese class who was like, "What's anime?" So I know now. So it's like I can at least hold a conversation. And one thing that is big outlier is I love roller coasters. If there's anybody here knowing me, it's like I absolutely love roller coasters. I go to our main theme park in Jersey. It's Great Adventure. It's like love going there. And yeah, so those are some things about me, some things I enjoy.
Yeah, and one thing I love about you, Faith, is that like you said, you love roller coasters. You're actually working on learning Japanese because you love that part of the culture so much. So where did this love for steampunk and sci-fi come from?
I think really like the steampunk sci-fi. I know more the steampunk just came from like seeing all like the different aesthetics and like some of the cool things that people can do with it. I just kind of really enjoyed that style because people can be like so intricate and so detailed. And I actually have I think one of my earlier introductions into steampunk was this book called The Bookman. I've read that book through twice, and actually I have a video of some of my thoughts on it on my Instagram page, which will be uploaded onto YouTube this week because there are a few videos I want to get up on YouTube this week. But that was just kind of, I just really loved that world about how it's like all this Victorian era, but it's basically as the Industrial Revolution came much earlier and much faster. So, and just I've seen so many people just do those things so intricately, and it's like, how do you have time and money to do that? Because you look cool.
Yeah.
And I think that some of the sci-fi, probably that just kind of came as like a mix because it's like I know a lot of the things now. It's like I see sci-fi fantasy things all the time. Even like some of the shows I grew up with, those are more action based, but they had like an other worldly characteristic to them in some way. Even if it was just kind of like more grounded in the real world, there was always just something otherworldly and like something going wrong in a way. So it's just usually fun.
Yeah. Okay. So your love goes back to that particular book. And I remember yesterday on your launch. And it was an amazing launch yesterday. It was so fun. It was family oriented. It was like we got a
How
chance
I
to
talk with
see,
our family.
yeah, we got a chance to see Faith's family and just enjoy them. The energy was lovely. But they talked about how when you were younger, there's one thing that you used to do that you still do as a writer. You want to tell people a little bit more about that?
Oh, my notebooks.
There you go.
Yeah, I have a thing with notebooks. I just even like some designs, just writing in them, and it's like I just absolutely love notebooks. And my family keeps like I use different notebooks for different things, and it's like oh, I need like 5 notebooks with like for just one thing sometimes. So it's like I have just whenever we go on like trips to see family, it's like I always have a thick bag of notebooks. This is like why? And it's like I'm trying to cut it down. But it's like I want to get this thing done, I want to get this thing done, I want to get this thing done, and I put it in way too many different places.
Hey, I understand. I'm one of those people. I'm looking around. I think my notebooks are actually in the room where where I keep a lot of my things. But I have the same problem, right? And for others, it's like, why do you always keep these notebooks with you? You never know what's gonna jump out of here. And having that notebook just to jot down those ideas or jot down those things, that's awesome.
Things all the time, yeah.
Yeah. So you're not only working on books, you're working on a few additional things behind the scenes. What are some of the additional things that you're working on? Somebody dropped it through the grapevine that you're working on a few screenplays or something like that.
Oh yeah. Yes, screenplay. I'm working with Carolyn Robinson. We are working to turn her book into a screenplay. She's part of the BOBM family. We met through there. So yeah, they're working on that for her to get that onto the big screen. And I've actually had experience writing screenplays because college for me was like only just a couple of years ago, but it's like I did start getting interested in trying to write a screenplay, and that was like my final project for my honors college, which I was a part of that. And it's like we had like tracks, so it's like I was performing literary arts, and I wanted to actually try and write, a story, the score, and the screenplay. My teacher convinced me to it's like just stick to the score and the screenplay. So
Mhm.
that's how I know how to do that, and that's one thing that working on now. So I
So
still do music too.
okay, so you do music, you do books, and
I do a lot.
you do a lot, yeah. Because when we met, and if I can, I remember when we met through Saul Paul and Miss Bianca in North Carolina, and we were doing an event together.
Right in my book in the
Yeah,
airport.
yeah, we were doing an event together there, and you just have this amazing personality that stood out. The way that you interact with others. But let's go back to the screenplays because I know that there's a lot of people out there right now who are looking at ways to turn their books into maybe some type of screenplay or something like that. And you said you have some experience, so tell us a little bit more about some of those experiences.
Well, I know with my experience, at least it's like when writing anything, either a book or a screenplay, it's like I like to know it's like what do you want as your end? It's like because that's going to be your final note and the basically kind of like the taste that you leave with the audience. I know that's trying to bring the senses into it, but it's like yeah, if you're hitting a good note or hitting a bad note, it's like give me the end first, and then we can make sure that all the things in the middle will make the ending make sense well. And I think with when writing actually like my very first screenplay, my teacher always said it's like ground it in reality. That was something that definitely kind of helped with writing my first book. It's like having a little dose of reality in there. So so writing that screenplay, it's like it's kind of different from writing a book because you actually have to write it as it is happening. It's like you can't be the third person or first person narrator that is like you normally see in a book. It's like you have to just like, here's what you see, here's what you hear from all the characters, and that is what is going to basically happen in every page, like every time. So that is definitely a very big difference because you can't picture what is happening. It's like, okay, this has to be written here so it makes sense like 5 pages from now. For a screenplay, it's like a moment. You have to go like the moment by moment to make sure it's like you see everything you want to see. It's like right here, and then it's like we will get to what is being seen next later.
Yeah. So you're writing it for that specific moment.
Yeah, that's kind of basically it's like I was taught what is on your page of the screenplay. Like usually a page on a screenplay is a minute on the TV on a movie. That's usually it's like, I think sometimes it might be different, depends, but that's usually the transition for that. And so you just kind of have to think it's like, what are we seeing at the moment in this screenplay? It is very different from a book where you can kind of jump and jump.
Yeah. All right. Well, listen, I know that you definitely have a handle on the screenplays, and it sounds like you've had fun doing it. Tell us about your Amazon best-selling book, The Last Tale of the Cyborg.
Okay. So I know I've shared this story a lot. The book came about actually really early because I had an idea for like an animated thing. It's like my lead character for Last Tale of the Cyborg, his name is Tagcog, was actually not my original lead character for this previous idea. But I just kind of like the name Tagcog, and I had my lead character never call anybody by their real names. So it's like she would always call him Tagcog, and in that particular story, it's like it would be a bunch of different like genres, and I kind of imagine them being all in different styles of like some of the cartoons that I grew up with. A lot of like late 90s, early 2000s cartoons. So like Nickelodeon, some Cartoon Network, and some Disney all mixed in there.
Hey, I watched those cartoons too.
It's like, oh, I was young. It's like, all those, so it's like, all those, but it's like, I can't draw, and trying to get all those things is like a very, very big hassle. So when it was coming with this, I was trying to write for a contest, which was like limited words, had to be a sci-fi fantasy theme, but it couldn't be too violent or have too much. Well,
yeah.
I've had told this to him.
Too many adult situations.
Yeah, it's like, okay, I like action stuff, so I don't know what you guys kind of classify as too violent. It's like I don't like gore. I'm not the best when it comes to blood and stuff like that. But it's like I like action, so it's like I don't know what would be too far in your eyes. So let me try and not do that. And I borrowed Tagcog from my previous story, and because I had him kind of as like one of my more fleshed out characters in some of the stories I imagined for this original story, it's like I would always use him just because it's like I don't really know why. I think he was just kind of like my favorite to play with. And so I just kind of tweaked a few things. Most of his backstory stayed the same, but I just tweaked a few things, and I created a new story of just like self-contained story, just about him, and I went from there.
Yeah, it sounds
like a very long story.
It's
actually to make a very short story.
Yeah, it sounds like Tagcog might need his own, might eventually need his own action figure character, because and here's why I say that. when I first started working on my book, it was called Claim Your Destiny, and it turned
Yeah.
into a program, and it's actually the name of my company, Claim Your Destiny Enterprises LLC. So maybe TAGCOG is sticking around for some reason because there's something there that's much bigger than just this book, right? So who is this book written for? Like what age group would you recommend it for?
Well, I know definitely it's like younger. You can kind of skew a little younger. I know it's like possibly third, second, third grade. It's like you could probably start. You'd probably be able to at least grasp some of the concepts in it. But I kind of just wrote it like kind of to fit into the young adult category. It was like like with teens and everything.
Yeah.
And I just kind of wanted to write something as well, which kind of reminded me of like the stuff that I like. It's like I want to just be my own story as well. But you can like skew from very young. It's like the old as well. So,
Yeah. I think you're touching on one of the principles that Ed always mentions as a writer. And he says, write write the story that you want to read.
Mm-hmm.
And so what got you into writing? Because you shared this story yesterday as well. There was something I want to say something that you were seeing or not seeing that got you into writing the type of fantasy and sci-fi that you write.
Yeah, I would say it was kind of like a bunch of things overall. But I
Mhm.
think some of like the core things was either getting us like bored with some of like the shows I was seeing on TV. It's like there's still shows, of course. It's like I love to watch and it's like I love to tune into them. It's like I know when they're gonna be on. It's like I'll turn it on and watch that for a few hours. But it's like also at the same time, it's like I love your stories. It's like I love these, but it's like I'm just kind of getting bored in the sense that I'm tired of watching other people do stuff. And so that was kind of one factor. And another one, which probably came like much earlier, actually goes back to like some of the roller coaster stuff. Because it's like at the same time I was starting to really get into roller coasters, my friend gave me a book called Kingdom Keepers, which I
Mhm.
have to reread. But it was like all like Disney stuff. And I actually didn't know a lot about Disney World and like the whole I don't know exactly who's watching it, so I don't want to spoil everything about
Now go
Disney.
for it.
Um, but it's just like going through that book, I was just very, very confused at times. And so it was like I kind of went and tried to like apply what was happening in that book. That's kind of what I at least could understand to like other theme parks. And a lot of actually like the early ideas I had involved theme parks and roller coasters, and like those were so many of the things that I did. But it's like I will get into a lot of lawsuits if I ever publish these officially and use all these names. So it's like, yeah, I'm not going to do that. Maybe one day, but no, not yet.
Yeah. So your love for theme parks inspires your writing as well.
It definitely does. I actually had like a whole idea, which I will probably revisit or tweak, um, about this like one story coaster. It's in Virginia, but it's just like, and I was like learning kind of it's like how they were building it. It's like kind of the whole backstory for it. And it was just like it just was really cool to me, and it's like that kind of inspired this one story of mine, which like I said, I will have to revisit because it's been kind of on pause for a while.
Hmm.
Um, but it's like, yeah, to even like coasters and theme parks, it's like some people can get like really, really creative. I will actually say, like, if you go and look up like all the backstories to like almost every coaster in Alton Towers in England, like you will be surprised at the creativity they have done for all of them.
Yeah. All right. So for those of you who are just joining, we are talking to Amazon #1 best-selling author. We launched her yesterday, and she is She was #1 on the new releases in children's steampunk. Miss Faith Gems. She has been writing since a very early age. She has been into music for a very long time. She has experience writing and is currently working on screenplays. So she does it all. And she is a very energetic, um, energetic author. But one thing that I want to tell everybody that most people may not know is that tomorrow, one of the reasons that the launch for Faith was so big yesterday, and we wanted to get her to #1, was because tomorrow is actually her birthday, and she turns 23 years old. So if you're watching, if you're tuning in, make sure you leave a comment in there. Make sure you leave a comment in the chats. Just say happy birthday, Faith. Let her know that we care about her, that we are watching, and that we are loving on her. Now the other thing about Faith is that we've talked a little bit about her first book, but you're currently working on some other stuff as well. What's in the future for Miss FC Boonstra?
Well, a bunch of things. I hope. I actually am having 2 YouTube channels, which one is more for like the author stuff, and the other one is just kind of for my love of coasters. It's like, even though it's like they're both me, it's like, there is an audience for this and there's an audience for this. So it's like trying to get like more content on those. It's like either it's like book reviews, like some of the stuff I'm doing with books, or even just some of the crazy stories I've had either on roller coasters or at theme parks. Like, I have a lot. There's been a lot of things that have gone just insane at those times. And yeah, like still writing books. I'm doing a few things with music. One of my goals hopefully is to write a song completely in Japanese. I'm just trying to make sure I get all the grammar right.
Okay.
I've been going back with my Japanese to make sure it's like, yeah, that's right. And yeah, like I said, yeah, I have the screenplay. I do have another book in the work as well. The inspiration I know for that is going to be on my website tomorrow on my blog. And that one is definitely different from Last Solo Cyborg because it's more, I guess I'd say more very heavy sci-fi based. It's a lot of kind of, well, fictional. It's like bioengineering things as well, and also a lot more action based too. So, yeah, I got a lot of stuff going on. So it's like my hope is just kind of have all those things together. So it's like, this is me.
Yeah, you definitely have a lot of, as they say, a lot of things in the fire. And but
yeah.
what I want to talk about, because one thing about Faith is that she is quiet, she is focused. When I called her this morning and said, "Hey, you made #1," she's like, "Yeah, okay." like she's always on to the next one, always on to the next thing. And I love that focus. I love that go get it. So the next book that you're talking about, tell us a little bit about that. And I think you are dropping something tomorrow.
Yeah, I was dropping the inspiration for that tomorrow because it's a really silly inspiration, but it comes more from this Japanese side of things.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like I don't want to give away too much on that. But yeah, no, this one I will at least say the name. It's called The Aggravator, and it's basically about 3 characters. 2 of them want to try and get rid of basically the special group that they are a part of because they know the truth about it. And one, unfortunately, like she had a lot of like basically like bioengineering, like manipulation when she was young, and she doesn't really know it. So she's very, very loyal to the special group. And the other 2, it's like they want to at least try to be able to get her out of that and show her it's like you are lied to. And so it's very heavy. It's like on some of the like more sci-fi elements, and I also try to make it actiony and mess with your head a little bit, at least in times. So it's like trying to get like the characters right. It's like so you can actually like all three of them, because it's like I don't want to make the girl characters like unlikable either. It's like the two guys are the ones where it's like, so I just want to make everybody at least likable.
Okay. Yes. So the Aggravators is coming soon with a heavy Japanese heavy Japanese and steampunk influence. And what I see in you say it's not steampunk?
And not as much steampunk, but definitely a sci-fi. It's like I wouldn't call it completely dystopian because it's only like half dystopian because of what's going on.
Okay.
It is very, very different. Although I actually do have another different steampunk idea, but that's not coming yet.
See, and this is what I was telling y'all. Faith's mind is always moving and always working on something new. So that's as we go back to the notebooks from back in the conversation earlier, you can see why she keeps those notebooks handy, so that she's always catching those jewels and those gems as they drop. What I can honestly see for you, Faith, is like your love for writing in the sci-fi genre. There's a lot of teens out there, and especially youth. So can you see
I don't
yourself?
even feel like I'm 23 half the time.
Hey, trust me, after 21, they all feel the same till 30, and then they all feel the same till 40, but they really all just feel the same.
Yeah.
But tomorrow we're gonna make sure that we do something nice for you within the BOBM family as well. So don't miss the calls just because it's your B-Day. We got something for you.
Yeah, I'll be up.
All right. Well, I can definitely see you being one of those authors who are traveling to different schools and sharing. How do you feel about traveling and sharing, maybe for literacy week or literacy month, or sci-fi presentations, things like that?
Like, I mean, I've been I think almost to every state on the East Coast. So it's like I don't mind traveling at all.
Okay, so y'all heard it, folks. If and Saul Paul said, Faith is amazing. Happy B-Day, Faith. Hopefully he checked his email. Hopefully he checked his email. So there's something in there.
I will message him after this.
but I can, if for those who are administrators, those who are people in schools that are connected to youth, then definitely reach out to Faith. Where can people find you? Just give the quick plugs of where we can find you, where we can follow you.
Well, main thing is like where you can find most of my new stuff is on fcboonstra.com. And Facebook and Instagram I am a bit more active on. Those are both official FC Boonstra, both on the page and my Instagram handle. On Twitter, which will be getting better this week, it's FC Boonstra1. And yeah, if you want to see, it's like either coaster videos or author videos. The author channel is just author FC Boonstra, and the coaster channel is FC Does Coasters.
Okay.
Yeah, you will see me. It's like all week. It's like I'm going to be refreshing some of those videos, and I'm going to have a steady schedule for them. Yeah. Coasters are Thursday. I like my coaster videos on Thursdays.
Coaster videos are going to be on Thursdays. Now, one thing y'all heard, and this is how you know that she's preparing herself to become a huge literary giant. And I always speak this into Faith, that she may be the next J.K. Rowling. She may be the next Stephen King. She is the only FC Boonstra, but y'all heard it here. Her her Instagram, her Facebook is official FC Boonstra. So
Had to
for
do
those
that.
out there who are trying to become the next FC Boonstra, it's already taken, right? Tell us, tell us, tell us something that one last thing that you're working on for the people so that they can connect with you, because I know it's B-Day weekend, so we're not gonna take up we're not gonna take up the entire weekend. I don't know about you. You probably have a sparkling cider or a sparkling apple juice, because I know your parents are probably watching. But at 23, that wasn't what I was drinking for my B-Day. So
Yeah. There's actually something down at Great Adventure. I don't know if they're having it this year, but it's like, you know,
yeah.
it's like I've been through that. It's fun, actually. Anyway, what else have I been doing? Yeah, I think this week it's like taking a look at for some of the things I'll be adding on to my author channel. I'm going to be uploading a whole bunch of like the books I reviewed and like read, because I still love to read as well, and I have a whole bunch of books. It's like, I want to share my thoughts on them, even if they're not like the most popular books or have been like released for a while. It's like I still want to talk about them. They still deserve to be talked about.
Yeah.
And yeah, on Thursday I said I will share another coaster story. This one will actually be about a rock and roller coaster down in Disney, because it's kind of funny. My mom forgot I could read. That's basically going to be the core of it. And what else this week? That's basically it. I'm just gonna be updating Facebook, Instagram, and a few things on Twitter, and just, updating all those things. It's like it's like I'm around, and of course asking. It's like if anybody on this is like read my book so far, it's like either go onto Amazon and drop a review. I would really appreciate that. Yours might actually be featured on my site as well. So.
That's what I'm talking about. So y'all heard it here. If you've read the book, make sure you go ahead and leave that review for her on Amazon. And she said she may even feature that on her website. But what we'll do after this, Faith will be responding to your chats. Like I said, tomorrow is Faith's 23rd birthday. She hits the big Jordan number. So with that being said, y'all make sure y'all leave a comment in there. Let her know that she's appreciated, that she's loved, and just say happy birthday. And make sure you go follow her on all social media channels, Facebook, Instagram, the official FC Boonstra. If you're just trying to connect with her one-on-one, follow her on her social media channels. And if you are connected to youth across the nation, make sure you reach out to her, because I promise you, she will definitely keep the kids energized. She will keep them smiling, and she will share her love and her passion for literature with them. All right. You have any last thoughts for the people?
I'll say thank you for tuning in. Makes me really happy. So yeah, as you can see, I'm all smiley right now.
Yeah.
So
Well, listen.
thank you.
Well, listen, you have made a major milestone in your literary career. We are proud of you. We are excited for you, and can't wait to see what's next. At this point, what I'd love doing, for anybody, do you mind if we share a few copies of your book? Because I know there's a few free copies. I bought some extra copies for a few people, if we can give them away.
Oh yeah, no, not at all. It's like I even got it's like another shipment of like physical books for me on the way, so I can have them signed. So I don't mind.
There you go. And also, we're gonna drop the link in the chats so that you all can get your autographed copy of Faith's book as well. So make sure you go to the chat links. She's gonna drop that. She's gonna drop not the Amazon link, but the physical copy, so that you can purchase your autograph copy from Miss FC Boonstra. So for anybody who wants a copy of her book, go ahead and drop a comment drop the comment book in the chats, and you will have your copy of The Last Tale of the Cyborg by FC Boonstra. And the next one, and you got a lot of family that's watching this. Like, Faith, we're so proud of you. We love you, Faith. Faith is amazing. Faith.
I was telling them all about this before. So.
Yeah, this is your weekend. This is your weekend. We turn the birthday weekend into a turn up, right?
Yeah.
Funny
No,
story. Yesterday on your launch, when we sung Happy Birthday, everybody that knows me was like, okay, so which birthday song is he gonna lead? And I played the Stevie Wonder, and everybody sang along, and it was so much fun. Faith was like, oh my God, what are y'all doing?
I'm a musician too, so it's like, oh my.
All right. Listen, next thing that we're doing is the actual Cash App giveaway. So for the first person who comments cash, there's a $25 Cash App giveaway that we have for you. And Charlotte Satterwhite said, congratulations, Faith, book please. We'll go ahead and get that to you, Ms. Satterwhite. We'll reach out to you and get your email so we can get that over to you. So the first person who, okay, and Charlotte Satterwhite also was the recipient of the Cash App. She was the first person to put cash in the chat. So Faith, I am super, super duper proud of you. Your future is huge. I can already see you as a literary giant just from your love of writing, your love of music, and your love of screenplays. And I can see your future is going to be very, very bright. All right. You have any last comments for the people? And then we'll go ahead and wrap it up.
I think, like I said before, it's like thank you all for tuning in. We really appreciate it. I'm happy. Again, you still want the book, it is always available. Like either ebook format, or if you want a signed copy, it is always here.
There we go.
Yeah, more coming, so.
There we go. And like she said, there's more to come.
So anybody's family, hi. So basically, hi. I invite everybody.
All right. Love you guys. We'll see you next week.
Bye.